And then we just have to play with 40 minutes of absolute passion. All right, whatever it takes to get that extra possession, we have to come up with it tonight. What's the song that you guys have been playing a lot? Dreams and Nightmares. Dreams and Nightmares. You know what I like about that song? It builds you up, but then it stays up forever. Is this song ever going to come down? That's us. 1, 2, 3. No.
We have a lot of really great individual players on this team, but we had a lot last year as well, and they just didn't quite gel the way that they needed to. And I think having everybody together at the very beginning of the season was very instrumental in that team actually coming together.
You know, when you get consistencies with a team where you start to build a nucleus, that usually equates into success.
I knew that we had a good team, but every other team is talented as well. And we've had talent in the past, and it takes more than that.
NBA meets NBL. The Thunder continues its journey with a match against the Australian club Melbourne United.
The more time you have on the court, you know, whether it's the practice court or the game court, the better you're going to be. And I think this was a team that really needed that extra time.
It took them a little bit of time to gel, but once they started to gel, you knew that the momentum was building towards the finals. It was never going to be a done deal because there were some good teams, but we were going to give it a really good crack, and I knew that early.
We had faith in the process. We had utmost faith in Dean Vickerman, and he just steered us in the right direction. Got us doing some, different things, different types of training, and really just made sure that we didn't lose focus and that we were going to come together and this thing was going to work out how we all wanted it to.
I was confident when they made the signing. I said, this is going to happen. This guy knows how to win. He knows how to pull people together. He knows how to bring a culture to a club, a winning culture.
I didn't really know much about him beforehand. I knew he was the assistant in Sydney last year, and I knew he had coached a breaker squad to a championship before. But to see him operate in person, he was absolutely the right fit.
There's no easy games, there's no days off in this league, and it took a few weeks early on at the start of the year, getting our ass kicked a couple times to realise that, we have to make some changes and we really have to, play a certain style with a certain level of effort every single game, otherwise it's going to be another year to waste.
It took like that mid-season point when we played Perth and we had that off time for everybody to get together and like, okay, something needs to change. We need to do this and do that. And I think that at that moment, we realized it.
It was frustrating on court. Off court, it was never frustrating because we had good conversations about what we needed to do, how we were going to go about it.
We just sat around and talked about how we were going to attack, the FIBA window. We tried not to use the word FIBA break. We tried to, call it what it was. It's a window that we've got to get better in. We had to accept our physicality wasn't at the level to win a championship. We could have just done it with basketball, but we needed something else.
I'm not a big wrestler, but that's a neat strategy that I haven't been a part of before.
It was something really different, and the first time we went in there, I got matched up with the instructor. I'm like, what the heck? So that's an experience I'll never forget.
To put yourself on the ground, you've got to find a way out. And there's no tap outs, you're just going to stay there and stuck on the ground with someone over the top of you, dominating you if you don't find a way out. And I think that was the mentality that we tried to come back with after the break, that there's always a way out of a hole. You got to find it, you got to use every tool that you've got to get yourself out of that situation.
Unbelievable comeback, 18 points down, and they win it by 2.
You just can never give up. You just got to keep fighting, and that was a testament to the coach that let us do that. You can see the games where we're down, some games, and we just kept fighting, and that's what it taught us. Just never give up.
We'd built a resilience against other teams playing really well. We knew if we stuck to our basketball, we played it consistently, we did it well, we'd give ourselves a chance. And the composure that the group showed through those periods, was something that really developed over the course of the season.
We just knew that we would make it work, and when we did, it'd be a chance to do something special.
When we played New Zealand in the semis, I was always a little bit nervous for what they've done to us in the past. You know, they've got their old heads, Mika Vicona, and guys like that could really turn it on. So I was a little bit worried.
Just sneaking into the playoffs is enough for them to normally get through to the grand final and give it a good shake.
Breakers control the tip.
Their pressure was second to none. You know, they did a great job of trapping us full court and forcing turnovers and getting out to that start that every home team wants, you know, in a big game in front of their fans. We didn't get rattled. We played the way that we had been playing and had been winning. Over the course of 40 minutes, we could drag it back.
And that gives Melbourne the first lead of the game.
Hey, it was just like that wrestling. Like I said before, like once you know that it's a way out, it's always a way out. If you just keep persevering and keep just fighting, you can do whatever you put your mind to. So.
78 all, we're heading to overtime.
The best part about it is that I didn't need to call timeout, and I was about to call timeout, and to get waved away and say, "Coach, we got it." You know, really, that was what you were trying to achieve as a coach, to say, as a coaching staff and as a team, you're on the same page, you got the same thoughts, you know how to execute it, just go ahead and get it done. And you know, everybody did their part in that play.
Juggles it! Oh, Josh Boone after the block shot wins the game for Melbourne!
As soon as I shot it, I started looking for a referee to see what they were doing, to see whether they were, you know, making the motion that it counted or not. And then I think it was Pete probably ran over and jumped on me. I think he may have been the first one.
I was at the top of the key, so I watched it all happen. And yeah, I saw him release it in time, I saw everything. And then I realized I was the only one celebrating for a few seconds. And I was like, wait, does people realize he just won us the game?
But I remember turning to Dean and I was like, I'm pretty sure that went in.
I didn't quite see the Abercrombie where he came from, and to make an amazing block on the first one. There was a lot of things happen, but you know, I was pretty certain that the ball had gone through before the red light came on.
For him to have the awareness after to get blocked that there was still time to put it up. Most people would get blocked and probably let it go, but that was big time from him, and that's why he's had a career he's had, and he deserved every bit of that.
To be able to get over that hump and beat them at home and then go over there and have probably our conditioning and our style of play really stand out as reasons why we won the games was great for our confidence.
After 116 games, we have our grand finalists in NBL 2018. We start in the city of Melbourne, United against Adelaide.
When you get to this, you know, the grand finals, the playoffs, a lot of it for me was kind of the unknown. You know, I always thought if I got to a grand final or, you know, a tight playoff series, I could be a key player and, you know, come out and win them, but it was always that sort of unknown.
The crazy thing about it was when we sat down and we had like a chat, Chris was like, I want you to win a championship. I want you to win your third in a row. I want you to get one. He never really made it about himself. He never really said anything about, I want my first championship.
But, you know, I want him to get his 12th or whatever it is. I want Casey to win 3 in a row. I want Ty to bounce back after last year and show that he can lead a team to a championship. I want Casper to get another one. I want Booney to go after being in Hong Kong and getting one here. I want the young guys that are here for the first year, the second year, third year. I want you to experience it a hell of a lot earlier than I hopefully get to experience it.
And we all knew it. That's why we all played so hard for him. But to see him do that, to say that, and then go out and produce in a game like that and put a team on his back was absolutely amazing.
Everyone had been telling us, oh, they've gotten so much better, you know, this and that. And, you know, if you look at their record, they really didn't lose many games other than the ones they lost to us. So as a record amongst all the other teams in the league, they were top tier, they were elite.
The NBL Grand Final Series is in action. Great, that nice move to evade Childress. Wesley sits it up for Boone. Ware sits it up for Prather.
Melbourne doing to Adelaide what they do to everybody else, running it down their throat.
Casper Ware lines up. He drops the three. He's fouled in the process.
I just couldn't see them beating us in a 5-game series. I think that's what our biggest strength was 5 games. I can't see them beating us 3 times.
But have a look at Casper Ware. It was Hodgson down on Casper Ware and straight away heading to the bench. This is huge. What a scare for Melbourne. And Casper Ware will head to the roofs.
There was certainly that thought straight away for me to say, is he done? Is he done for the series?
I was concerned for him for sure. That's concerning when that happens, to potentially be losing a piece like that.
I honestly just hoping that it wasn't as bad as it looked, because it looked pretty bad.
I felt a type of way like, oh, I might be done for this series. When I first went off, I barely could run, walk, and it was pretty painful, so yeah.
All right, get back to the present. How do we fix this problem right now? You know, bring Peter Hooley in and then let's assess Casper as it goes along.
But at the time you're like, I have to continue exactly where he left off. He's the best player I've ever played against. He's an absolute nightmare to play against, but you have to know that your role now is his role. I think I played the entire second quarter. I was absolutely gassed. I had so many times I was like, Chris, go handle the ball, but I was like, you can't quit. You know he wouldn't quit. He ended up coming back and playing on one leg and dominating a second half of a finals game, and that's why he's a terrific player. So to him to do that makes everybody realise that you can't quit on this stage.
I'm still faster than some of them out there, Rob. I wasn't supposed to go back in, and I kept asking Rob, let me go, let me go. I talked him into it, let me go, and I told Coach, I'm ready to go.
Are you ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready. Are you going? Yeah.
You said Casper Ware will be back. He is. He starts the second half.
He's one of the true catalysts of our team. You know, when Casper is going, and when Casper is, as Peter Hooley calls him, Drew Lee Casper, we're really, really a tough team to beat. And I think during that first game of the series, it showed. They decided that they were going to make him beat them. And unfortunately for them, he kind of did beat them.
Casper Ware says, I'm still here.
There was one time, I remember I creaked through it out from the post, I stole it, ended up spinning in a transition, hit Casper, he hit a 3, and I celebrated like crazy. That was one moment where I was just like, wow, this is real. This is something that I've dreamt of for a lifetime, and then celebrated for about 20 seconds, and I was like, okay, there's still games after this. We've got to lock back in, but no, that moment I'll remember forever.
Casper Ware!
It was a great feeling. Just to hit them 3s, you know, things of that. Oh man, just to interact with the crowd after hitting them 3s is one of the best feelings about it. That's why I love Melbourne, you know. As soon as you hit a shot, go crazy, and that's why I be slapping hands on the sideline, talking to them, and it's one of the best parts about it.
I came out after the game and I said, hey, I'm very proud of not only you getting points, that's not the biggest thing, but you came back out and you led this team to a win.
And the seconds expire. Melbourne lead the grand final series 1-0.
Just like the New Zealand series, they're going to make some changes. Everyone be ready. 1, 2, 3. United.
Melbourne United, having took care of business on Friday night, now it's over to Adelaide to try and hold serve here on their home court and level this best-of-5 series up at 1 game apiece.
You want to continue to build the rivalry in a grand final, especially in a series like that.
The fact that it got a little bit chippy was not really a surprise to me at all. If anything, I think it just enhanced the series for the league and for the fans. I think it just brought more light to this game.
You know, it was going to be a testy series and everyone's up and into it, and you know, from the get-go everyone starts going. It's a matter of who can get their emotions in check.
Doesn't like the contact with Anderson and that little bit of push and shove.
All 4 of the games that we had against them during the regular season were pretty emotional games to begin with. And then when you add in the fact that it's a grand final series, when you add in the fact that, you know, they are probably viewing themselves as the ultimate underdog, you know, they've had to get through all of this other stuff. Nobody's talked about them all year, you know, just thinking about it from their perspective. I'm not surprised at all.
I believe Schroeder started it all, actually. Yeah, he was the uniter from all this whole situation.
I had that mindset, oh, you want to talk? Okay. If he's in front of me, I was going to go at him. I'm going to make sure he knows who I am. So that was my mindset, but I didn't let it get too deep. I was like, just go be aggressive and play it, because like I said, he wasn't guarding me anyway. It was Sobe, so couldn't think about it too much.
But he was great for the series, and he's great for our fans to to love to hate him when he comes to Melbourne.
You know, he's a talker. He's a big talker. So it started from there. I thought it died down, but I guess not. He wanted to start talking again. Thank him for that because it woke me up, maybe even more mad, and wanted to play harder.
Childress baseline takes them on. Barlow, great defensive pressure, and Childress is down clutching his shoulder.
God, I hope his shoulder hasn't popped, but he is clutching that badly.
You know, the Josh Childress going down was massive for them.
DB's not a man to go out, you know, in a dirty play or anything like that, but he is a strong man, so he probably just ran into the crowbar, which is, you know, unfortunate for him. I've been hit by it in training, but never came off that bad.
You know, that they could certainly step up. They've been a group that had different things go on at different times, and they're a group that always, you know, had people rise to the occasion. But I always felt that was going to be hard to do at our place. You can do it at home and you can cover people, but you know, trying to cover for, you know, an elite piece like that on the road is very difficult to do.
But Adelaide has prevailed over Melbourne, and the grand final series is tied at 1 apiece.
I remember, yeah, straight after the game too, saying that in the huddle, like, guys, this is a test, because we lost pretty bad too over there, and it was a bit of heart, you know, obviously rips you out a bit because, you know, any loss hurts. But you got to just think about the test of wheels, keep your character, keep everything in check. Start worrying about the process, not the results as much like that. So, you know, these little things give you confidence and give you, you know, added, you know, motivation. And yeah, coming back to Hisense Arena, we knew we were going to perform.
We have seen two fantastic, high-scoring grand final games so far. What is going to happen in Game 3? Casper Ware over that hip complaint. He drives into the paint, and look at Ty Wesley. Great finish. The runner from Casper Ware. Now Prather, and he's working his way into this game. Here's Golding camped in the corner again. This time it's good.
Casper Ware again. Adelaide is playing good defense. United is just hitting everything.
You know, the whole playoff series for us, we knew that they're an emotional team, and sometimes their emotions allowed them to play absolutely incredible basketball. Sometimes their emotion had the ability to hurt them.
Oh yeah, it was really hard. You know, it's a grand final series, and that's what you want. You know, you expect nothing less. So when Casey hit that three, I know they were talking mess to each other, so just got a little out of hand.
The seconds expire! Casey Prather and Melbourne United stay in the fight and deliver a big blow. Now there's some afters. It is grand final time and we love it.
Well, the same play, actually, he blocked my shot. I was posting up and I did a fairly weak move. He blocked my shot and he let me know about it. So I had a chance that same possession to hit the shot, so I let him know about it as well. But he clearly didn't take it the right way and came over and got a little emotional, got intense.
Dean did so well at creating this culture at this club, and he kept always reiterating about you've got to have your teammates back no matter what, and just had to run in there. And you're not trying to do anything out of the ordinary, but you've got to have your teammates back. And to look back now at the footage and see our entire bench was there and everybody was there, that's a testament to the kind of team we are.
That was probably one of the better games that he'd been playing in Melbourne. He had his struggles in Melbourne, but he was off to, you know, playing really well. So, you know, the opportunity for us to make a little fight back at the end of that quarter. Let's keep this momentum in the second half. We know they're a piece down right now. You know, stay solid and we can get this win.
Nathan Sobey's been ejected from the game for that headbutt.
At that point, we kind of knew, like, we have this. We have a mental edge right now over the opposition.
Melbourne by 3, make it 5. Courtesy Casey Prather. Golding! Golding onto David Barlow. That was never going to miss. David Barlow is having an outstanding grand final campaign.
Being a good bench, you know, that's a great feather in your cap to be able to say, yes, we helped contribute a lot to this championship team. DB is a great man, great player, great person. So he's applied his trade even throughout Australia, winning championships here and throughout the world. And he's just a go-about business kind of person.
David Anderson, the 37-year-old veteran.
play against a team like Adelaide that switches a lot, you need to punish them down low, and for that reason he was absolutely huge in the final series. So I'm happy for him to be able to do that, especially when he hurt his foot. It was like he's probably done for the year, but he came back, did everything he needed to get back, and then helped us win a championship. So I'm proud of him.
The crowd, they can sense it. Casper Ware.
And he's got a little bit to talk about too, because that was one-on-one against Shorter, who comes straight back at him.
We're probably a little conservative, you know, against their pressure, and that's always a difficult thing when you've got nothing to lose, when you play at the pace that they play at, and you know they're just going to absolutely attack you, shoot quick shots. You want to finish that game with a big win, but again, how does that send your mindset into the next game?
With 3.3 left on the clock, they're down by 3. They're trying to send us to OT. 3.3 seconds to play. Majok-Deng parks his feet, misses the shot, and Melbourne United are within 1 win of their first NBL championship.
Having been a little disappointed in the way we finished, set a good mindset for us in the next game as well.
Injury here in Prather. The bench is running out. I think he's done an elbow there. They have been screaming at the bench to come on out here. He looks in a lot of pain.
Yeah, that was a bad one. You know, we were clicking, we were playing pretty well, and Casey dove for a loose ball, as we ask everyone to do. It's a, you know, that was a big time play, and then I just see this his elbow hanging the wrong way, and he's trying to look at it. I remember him. I was like, don't look at it. I sort of tried to cover his face. I was like, don't look at that. It's only going to make the situation worse.
Here it is again. Oh, yeah, right on that elbow.
Just a horrible injury. I still got it in the back of my mind when it happened.
At halftime, you see a guy who's been an MVP in the league, he's won champions, break down in tears from something that he couldn't control. It hits you pretty hard. Initially, it's just like sadness, to be honest. I've had injuries before, and I just feel sick when I see that happen to a teammate or anyone really. I hate it. And I'm not even thinking about the repercussions in terms of success. It's more so worrying about that individual.
You know, my thinking after the game, to be completely honest, was we probably won't see him again. We got some good news on the medical front that, you know, if we make playoffs and progress, he could come back. So that's a positive, but you know, our biggest thing this year was when guys got hurt, someone had to step up.
To have Craig Moeller and Dave Barlow step into, you know, to that Casey Prather role, but do it in a lower usage model, you know, showed to us that, you know, we still have enough talent to go ahead and win this comp.
Craig Moeller got an opportunity to fill in for a few games until Carrick came along, and those guys really held the fort for, you know, the back end of the year when we won a lot of games.
They bring in a guy like Craig Felix, and they start winning and doing great. As a competitor, you want to be out there and compete with them as well.
We spoke about it as a group. Do you want to change something that's working so well? It's a tough question, but when you've got a guy like Casey, it becomes an even tougher question.
That was probably the toughest question that I think anyone in the Melbourne organization faced this year.
You can make a great argument both ways. You know, we've won 11 of 12 with Carrick, or, you know, we've got a guy that's a proven MVP contender in the league. He's won grand final MVP before on a stage where we're trying to get to. So it was a tough conversation.
If we don't win a championship, I think either way it's viewed as the wrong decision, not by us, but by, you know, people on the outside.
The only way it could have been the right decision is if we won the championship. You know, you keep Carrick and we go all the way and we lose in the championship, everyone says, well, you should have brought Casey back. You bring Casey back and we lose, well, you should have kept Carrick.
It was a tough situation for the decision makers on this one, but you know, I think it obviously worked out pretty well.
Once we'd made the decision to say, yep, Casey is healthy enough to play, let's get him a couple of games before the playoff period, that was really important for him.
Carrick left the playing group on court with the right attitude to be around and support us. Casey came back into the playing group with the right attitude to do whatever needed to be done.
Well, I have a lot of belief in myself, and I was just like, if I can get back on the court, then I'm gonna do whatever it takes just to, you know, show these guys that I'm bought into the system and bought into what they've been doing to win. Me just saying, hey, whatever you guys need, I'm all for it.
You know, they were guys that can talk about the role, and we're happy to share the experience without, you know, being protective of their own territory. And I thought that happened when Carrick came in, and Casey was great with him and helped him along the way. And then when Casey come back in, you know, Carrick was the exact same thing. Their relationship and how they dealt with each other and being supportive of each other, there's some of the things when you talk about the culture of a team, their ability to be totally unselfish in their roles, and then the way they shared information was outstanding.
Well, I was pretty close with Carrick. I think me and him spent a lot of time together off the court, and he was a terrific person as well as a terrific player. And for him to stay around, I don't think he had to do that. Once they brought Casey back, a lot of people would have just gone home.
Because I know I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably would have been like, I'm going back home, guys. Have a good season. Hope you guys win. But like I said, that shows you how good of a guy he is.
He knew he could just be himself and you know, bring that infectious energy to the group.
Well, fella.
You know, I didn't think it would continue the way it did. You know, once he left the on-court group, but you know, there was times where, you know, we'd rock up to the airport and Carrick would roll in and we'd be like, yeah, like sweet, Carrick's coming on the road with us.
He wanted to be here. He flew to New Zealand, he flew to Adelaide, and that's the kind of person he was, and you knew that he would never back down from anything, because I would assume that he's itching to get on the court.
You know, his support, you know, throughout the playoffs was amazing.
He made a video for us, like a highlight reel with our kind of like our team song kind of that we listen to before games to get pumped up. Damn, I was super, super pumped for that game.
Well, that was pretty awesome. It's a song we've been singing. Just the way it got put together, it got everybody pumped up.
It was great. It was great. It got us really hyped, excited for us to watch it. And like I said, for somebody just to make a video for us like that, all right, I'm gonna get the boys going. He's just played a part without being on the court.
But that just shows what type of guy he is. You know, he was here for 2-3 months, and you know, he spends probably more time, you know, trying to develop this thing to get us over the line, this hype reel, this video, than he was on court with us. Probably, you know, there was times I was like, what is Carrick doing in the corner on his computer? Like, what's going on here? But I didn't realise until closer to the game what he was doing and what he was trying to do for us.
But it was great. You know, it fit in perfectly with the message of the song, and he really intertwined it with the message that he wanted to convey to us. I think it was really good. It really was.
It become a theme, you know, for the team, and I'd actually spoke about it before Game 5.
It's definitely a hype song. It definitely gets you up.
It's my personal experience. One of my favorite songs me and my brother played all the time. When we play in the Drew League, before we go play, we play that song, and it just gets me going, gets me hyped.
And from then on, it just kind of became a staple for us. You know, it became almost a rally cry.
Yeah, it was something that sort of came out of nowhere.
Casper would put his headphones on right before we would go out for the pregame introductions, and that would be the song that he would usually play. And I think one day his headphones died.
And somebody had a speaker. I said, all right, we need to play this song. And then from now on, we just start playing it every time, and it was just our theme song. You know, we really rallied behind it.
You know, I think it's appropriate too. I think there was some times where we faced some nightmares throughout this year, but throughout it all, we still had that dream that we were gonna persevere and get through everything and win this championship.
The hype reel was good, but we went out there and laid an egg, so I felt sorry for the poor fella. He should have saved it till Game 5. He could have took all the credit.
Disappointed that we came out and didn't play so well over there, but you know, the song was certainly the team song for the year.
Well, we are set to go, and Golden hands over to Casper Ware. Melbourne with first possession.
One of the things you've got to do against Adelaide is make shots, and if you're going to shoot a lot of perimeter shots and you're not going to make them, that gives them the opportunity to do what they do best.
Golding overdue. Caught it deep, ding the rebound.
As Dang just gets to the rack, and he's got an attitude about it. Maybe we took a half semi-backward step, you know, when they came out of the block so feisty. But, and it's hard, you know, Adelaide Arena gets rocking, you know, that place is it's a hostile atmosphere.
They are a different beast at home. They play with so much confidence. It's going to be tough for Melbourne to beat them today.
They just took it to us. We found ourselves on the back foot. We just got into a cruisy mindset that, hey, we're good. We got one more chance to win this all. So they came out like it was the last game they can never play, and credit to them that they did what they're supposed to do.
You're one of 14 from deep Melbourne, getting nothing from beyond the perimeter.
It was just one of those shooting halves where we could not get the ball in the hole, and on the other end, when you do that, they run and run and run, and they're kind of like an avalanche. They just pick up speed, they pick up weight, they just keep going, and you know, they use the crowd and the environment that it creates there to their advantage, and before you know it, we're down 20-odd going into half.
The major break, Adelaide 55, are having their way with Melbourne 31.
To talk about that at halftime, to say, yeah, we're in a pretty big hole, but you know, this is an area that we know we normally make 10 threes a game. We're going to make shots in the second half, and if we do, we'll give ourselves a chance to win it.
Just chip away, yeah. We got to get this thing.
We kind of took a hit, but then I believe in the second half we fought back pretty hard. We got it almost to in 4 points. It was great to see the air go out of that arena.
Prater does pull the trigger, knocks down the three, shorter, takes on Wesley, penetrates, Wesley rejected it, great defensive play, we're running, trimming to beat, gets to the rack and adds another two. They have closed here to within single figures. Here's Dave Barlow, been doing it all series, knocks it down, Wesley for Boone for the dunk. Wow, what a fight back from Melbourne, this has been extraordinary.
I think we should have won it. We played good that whole time, just fighting back, fighting back.
Shot clock.
DJ hits a big three to extend it out when, you know, we'd been on a great run and everything they were getting was difficult. So, you know, we definitely watched video and thought, you know, we should have won that game even being down by that much at halftime.
Testament to them, they played good the whole game. You know, we came and played half a game, and you can't do that in a grand final series.
The fact was we still didn't win, and we felt that that was a game that if we had showed up and played the way that we knew we were capable of, we felt we were going to win that game and close that series out in Adelaide. But they, you know, credit to them, they did a great job in Game 4.
Melbourne came back to close to within 4 with 5 minutes to go, but this grand final series is going the distance.
There was some disappointment initially in the locker room for sure.
The spirit, I wouldn't say it was depleted, but you know, we'd lost a game, we'd lost a grand final game, we weren't happy, everyone wanted to finish it there and enjoy what a championship felt like.
Right now, Game 5 on our home court. You say that at the start of the year, you take it every single time we go in there and we get a win. Yep.
One game at home to win a championship, you've got to be happy with that. So that was the mindset going in. We've got a home game against a team that we'd beat 6 out of 8 times in front of a crowd that had sold out in literally minutes.
I think by the time we got on the plane and got back to Melbourne, guys started to realize they still have to beat us in Melbourne.
This is, you know, why we fought all year long to get home court advantage.
But it was a week away, and each day you kind of got less sleep leading up to it, knowing that this is the one game. There's nothing else after this.
We were banged up. We knew Josh Boone wasn't going to practice until right up to game day. Ty Wesley had his AC joint, and you know, we knew he was going to probably play, but how restricted was he going to be? And then Casey Prather didn't practice for 3 days, and we're not sure if he was actually going to play due to illness. So that was a scary week.
I didn't like it at first, looking at the schedule. Then I'm like, hip hurt, back hurt. This might be a good thing.
In hindsight, that long break, we needed that.
The National Basketball League has reached fantastic heights this season, and we are high over Hisense Arena, our final stop for season 2018. This is the venue for Grand Final Game 5. It's the ultimate decider, Melbourne-Adelaide, and it all comes down to this.
It was a lot of emotions, you know, but at some point you're trying to hold it in because, okay, I got a game to focus on, you know, you don't want to get too high, too low.
Let's go, fellas. The preparation of what you've read, what we've been through, helps you anticipate.
He'd obviously been listening to that song while we were getting ready to go out for weeks and weeks and weeks, and had it in his mind ready to go. He said, "What's that song you guys have been playing?" Everyone said. And I was like, "Where's he going here?"
What's the song that you guys have been playing a lot? Dreams and Nightmares. Dreams and Nightmares.
And then he came out with the line, and everyone was just like, "Oh!"
You know what I like about that song? It builds you up, but then it stays up forever. There's like, is this song ever going to come down? That's
It was something special. I wasn't expecting that. It was one of those things where, oh, he said that?
We was hyped. We was ready to go. It was nothing you could throw in front of us that could stop us.
It got the desired result. You know, I can't remember a game all year where the guys were, you know, right at that level of let's just get out there right now and let's go win this thing. So that was pretty cool. I'll remember that forever. That was, I won't say it was a stroke of genius, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
And what I did like about that song was, you know, that it once it got through its build-up, that, you know, it stayed at a high level of intensity for a long time. And that's what we spoke about as a group, to say, if this is our song, we've got to go live it tonight and stay up for a long time.
Are you ready for game 5?
Whole crowd, the coach just gave us a great speech and your adrenaline's going, and it's just amazing.
It's a mix of emotions. You obviously get your butterflies, you get your adrenaline going. You know, you can't wait for the ball to go up. You want to start playing basketball.
It's time to make history!
All the crowd were wearing the shirts. They were all black, and man, as you say, I've played a long time, and I've played in a lot of different environments, but maybe you forget, but I don't remember ever being that pumped up for games as I was in this final series.
It's time to go to work! Get out of your seats!
The energy coming down those stairs, getting down to the court for the start of that game, it was something I've never experienced ever before.
Stay up! Stay up, Melbourne!
Everyone was standing up, everyone was clapping, everyone was getting loud. It was awesome.
What a series. Maybe the best there's been in 40 years of the NBL, and we are go. Golding tries to go back at them, shorter, but he can't stop Golding. Now Golding off the backboard and the putback from Ty Wesley. The floater from Casey Prather takes them a little closer. So he gets to Byrne, and then Byrne with 2 and the chance for one more. Casper Ware forces his way through.
I just went out knowing we have to be aggressive. We win when we're aggressive. You can't be passive. This is the last game of the season. You can't hold anything back.
And Hooley off to the races now. Peter Hooley with the finish as well.
I remember taking off. I was like, I've taken off from a long way here. This is going to be tough to finish, and I got a good roll, but that was kind of like, okay, my nerves are settled, and now I was like, I'm ready to go.
Golding driving baseline. Oh, the reverse layup. He's doing it all.
Chris is that kind of guy. He carries himself well, he walks tall, and he went out and stood up in game 5 and took himself to another level. He sort of carried the team on his shoulders for that first quarter and said, guys, this is how it's going to go. So get on board and get with me, and he was fantastic.
Golding over the top of Creek. It's good for 3 more.
I think he had one where, you know, he shot faked it, he moved it around, and then still shot it in their face. And I think when he hit that one, I was like, oof, he's pretty tough to stop tonight.
There is Chris Golding with his 100th 3 for the season.
He's played 250 odd games in the NBL, hadn't really won a championship, and for him to come out in a game 5 and do that proves why he's one of Australia's best players.
This year, we could tell immediately from the very beginning of the year that he was a different guy. You know, he was going to be the one that was going to, you know, kind of take the reins and say, hey, you know, follow me. We're going to go and we're going to do this.
It was set up for him. It was set up for him.
Golding is making it really hard for them. He's got a bit of swagger, has CG43.
That is an incredible finish with the left hand. He is coming to get that ring.
Oh, it was phenomenal, man. It was a huge key to our success when he was getting buckets like that, just like yelling in his face, like, let's go. Try to keep him going, and yeah, he was big time.
Golding!
To see him do it on such a great stage, I think, was just kind of the culmination of all of his hard work, and I was really happy for him and proud to see that.
The advice was just the next possession, and that's what we focused on so often throughout the year, was just next possession. So even when the ball went through the hoop, it was bang, next possession. Who am I picking up? How can we make it hard for them to score? We get a stop, bring it back down, just try and extend that lead.
Final minute, first half, step up, Casper Ware. Golding leads all scorers with 19, Casper Ware 17, and their team is up 57-44.
but you know they're gonna make their runs. And that's what we said. They're a good team. They're here for a reason. They're gonna make their runs, and we just had to make sure we made our runs right back and just stop the bleeding.
So 13 the difference as we head into the third. Melbourne turn it over. Sobey for Creek. Here they go again. Sobey unguarded. Daniel Johnson shows his perimeter threat. Creek spinning on Barlow. Mitch Creek. 6 points. Joey Wright's got his win.
I think Barlow might have hit us a big three for us, at that point.
Barlow drains a big three.
Had Majuk Deng switched out to me, and I drove and I kicked to him, and there was barely any room for him to get that shot off, and he just stepped up, and he's another big-time player who's played all over the world, but that kind of really released everything from me, and I was just like, wow, we aren't getting beat today.
Just really the biggest thing for us in the last game was just getting so many stops in a row. They couldn't score.
They are strangling the Adelaide 36ers.
I felt like during the game we answered their runs, and sometimes you just have those games where teams make runs, but we were able to put a little stop in them. Whether we did one with a timeout, we did one with someone making shots, we did some with some great defense, but we always seem to have an answer. And I think when you feel that in those games, you feel that you're going to give yourself a great chance to win.
The wheels are beginning to fall off this Adelaide 36ers team.
That's what we hung our hat on all year, was defense. All year we've been charting how many times we can get 3 stops in a row. And that doesn't change when you get to a grand final series. And for us to come out and really shut down the best offensive team in the league, I think that shows that we were deserving.
Yeah, that was absolutely what won us the game. I think we were a great defensive team. I loved how we had pride in our defense. I loved our strategy, the way we stuck to our rules.
All the hard work we put in this year, it's crazy how that last game is who we are. From Chris playing good, everybody played good, everybody did their role, and we showed what we worked for all year in that last quarter, getting 9 stops. We focused on defense so much this year, preaching defense, we're going to score, and that's what it showed.
And we pretty much just counted down the minutes, at quarter time. 30 minutes to go at halftime. We've got 20 minutes until we win a championship. 10 minutes, even when we were up big with 5 minutes to go, it's don't let this slip.
He's alone and turns it over. Hold on, Prather. Safe finish from Casey.
I want the fans to get hyper. I want everybody to turn up a little louder and just enjoy this moment. I'm big on enjoying the moments, things like that. So in that moment, I was feeling really good.
Great fight from Adelaide. Right now, it's all Melbourne.
We got up at 20 at one point. I was like, they can come back. They're a terrific team. They've got this far. I was like, nothing is for granted, and we kind of just kept the foot on the pedal. But I think at that point, I knew that we weren't going to be beat. I was like, whether we're going to grind this out and just win, just get over the line, or we're going to blow it out a bit more.
Casper Ware can give them that and does. They can reach out and touch the title.
Casper got the floater. Casper took over a little bit.
I knew it was done then. As soon as I hit the floater, I said, yeah, it's done. I kind of seen his body language and where it was going. I was like, we did it. So I was pretty happy then. He gave me a flex earlier, so I had to give it back to him.
Once I hit that 3, I think that sort of relaxed me a little bit in the way that, all right, I think we're going to win.
Get out of your seats!
There was about a minute or so to go, and I remember he tried to drive on me, and I slapped it off his knee, and they gave it back to us, and that was some real raw emotion there. To be able to get a stop like that when the game was probably already sewn up, but I was like, all right, give me the trophy now we're champions.
I think they subbed out Shorter. They brought in some of their bench guys. That was when it hit me that it was done and we were going to be the champions.
And united, they stand. This Melbourne franchise gets its first championship, and Chris Golding weeps with joy. Melbourne have their championship.
I couldn't help it. As you said, I played over 250 games. I'd grown up around this league. To come full circle and be, out on that court and the clock winding down and realising that, as I said before, the things that I dreamed about and the things that you work for every year was actually going to happen. It was pretty cool.
I honestly, I was about to cry as well, especially when it came over to me. He just said, thank you. It was just crying. I could tell that was sincere. I was like, man, that all right there is just worth it all.
It made me want to cry a little bit. Just the emotion after the game, I was like, man, it shows how much it means to him.
Seeing him just be so loving towards the teammates, so thankful, appreciative of the moment, that all right there alone just worth the championship for me.
But I certainly wasn't expecting to get drenched with water. So I think they had to stop him from doing it before the buzzer went.
To come back now at this stage of my career and do the full circle and end up back in Australia and get a championship with the Melbourne United in front of fans and friends, family, it's a great thing.
Battled so hard, we've grinded so hard, you don't really get these releases throughout the season, so it's kind of like something we earned and something we really, really tried hard for, so it was well deserved and it was a lot of fun.
I love all my teammates, it's a great group of guys, and then to be so ecstatic with the win, and then just to be all together, partying, celebrating with our wives, families, it was just like the best vibe ever. Like, I'm so happy about it, just kind of want to replicate it, to be honest, want to repeat.
And not just the players, all the staff, everyone had worked hard on the branding, on the change to Melbourne United. We'd got to a place where we'd all worked hard for the last 3 or 4 years to get to. It was awesome.
A couple of minutes after the game got over, I was just kind of laying on the platform, looking up at the scoreboard and just kind of taking everything in. The fact that we literally accomplished every single goal that we set out to do this year was pretty amazing.
It was more so like running around like a crazy man, hugging my partner, hugging my family, hugging my teammates, everyone that had just sort of been a part of it. That was more so the dream, but yeah, I mean, Casper was so pivotal for us throughout the series. Casey was unbelievable. So, I didn't know who was going to win it. I didn't really care. We got what we came for, and I'm sure those guys would have been, in the exact same mindset. They couldn't have cared who won it as long as we got the ultimate prize. But yeah, I was surprised by my name being called out, but very humbling.
I'm very proud to announce that the winner from Melbourne United is Chris Goulding.
I've seen guys, really big time guys, win that medal. So to be able to put it around my neck, it was pretty special.
His performances have been outstanding. Obviously to step up in Game 5 is a huge feat, and rightly so named Grand Final MVP.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to applaud the 2018 Hungry Jacks NBL champions, Melbourne!
Script. It goes 5 games, Melbourne win on their home court and thoroughly deserved it. What a series, what a season.
But ultimately, there could be only one winner, and this year, 2018, it is Melbourne United. Oh! My God, what? 2018 sign out. We're done!
We're done! Even after the game, a half hour later, most of the fans are still there for the trophy presentations and for us cutting down the nets. That's something special to us.
Even with half a leg, hobbling up the steps and cutting down that net was great, great feeling and something that I'll treasure for the rest of my life. And to do it in front of friends and family, have my little kids up on the stage with me, it's one of those things that's going to be a great memory in the bank, and hopefully we can get some more going on too.
It was just something special about this one. It was something special about just, seeing like United's first one, and how everyone respected the team and respected what happened that night, and to see and feel the brotherhood and the love around that one was a bit different.
Because I have arguments with my dad, like, oh, you don't win championships, you're not as good enough as me. So now I can say I got championships in other countries, do you?
Just being a part of something like that is just truly special, because I get to tell my kids and their kids' that, hey, I did this and I'm in the record books for a certain thing. So it just continues to give me something to inspire for, but also I'm really grateful for it.
Hey! We champs! We champs out here!
Hide your clothes. Everything's about to get wet.
And yeah, we were waiting to get back to the changing room to pop some bottles. I remember having to teach Craig Moller actually how to pop a champagne bottle and spray it.
You've grinded so hard, you've been through so much, there's been so many ups and downs, and you can finally just release everything. And I think I was a bit late getting into the locker room, and the first person to meet me was Dean. He's like, "Where's your bottle of champagne?" And I was like, "Oh, are we doing that?"
Hold up, I'm gonna put my drinks away. I was one of the last off the court, so by the time I got into the locker room, everyone was ready to go with their champagne. It took me about 15 minutes to get the cap off my champagne and get going.
It's literally blood, sweat, and tears, and to see that all pay off, and just to be around those people who you went to war with each and every day, and to be able to celebrate something that y'all all did together, that's beautiful. I'll say the top. Yeah, it's one of definitely the top moments of my life. Just being a part of the first Melbourne United's championship, and then to have a three-peat and be the only person who does that, and then be our history. Yeah, it's the top, man.
My man, three-time champion, three-time, you see I had to put on 1, 2, I can't count. Three-time champion right here, man.
We did it as a team, you know, everybody had their part. It's a nice game.
We work hard together all year long. To get this win is amazing.
For United to have their first opportunity to get a championship and being a part of it was absolutely amazing.
Funny thing about winning championships is that every time you win one, that just makes you want another one that much more.
At home court advantage, man. How big was 12,000 home tonight?
Woo! They were awesome tonight. They came with it. They were loud. From start to finish, we love it. That's what we want every game.
Yeah, I guess there's a high expectation of our fans right now to say, you were so amazing in Game 5. You know, how close can we go to repeating that kind of atmosphere every night? Because that's what we want. That's what we want to perform in front of. You know, that's what I love about this league is every game, every possession is just so important, and we play it right to the end, just as we did all year.